All right, guys, we are talking about how to pop your legs now. First and foremost, you can possibly damage your leg in the sense that you do it too hard, you can hyperextend your knee. So you definitely want to be careful when you're doing this. Popping the leg is probably the most fundamental part of popping because you're standing, you're balancing yourself. And it's not just, the pop is not just coming from the arms. The leg is what's supporting your body. And if you could get a good pop from the legs, everything else will add on to that. Imagine us just standing still. When we're standing still, we should not be locking up your knee, okay? So imagine you're just standing, regular standing. I'm not standing like this. So this part is what we call the quad. You're not flexing your quad when you're standing. Your quad is relaxed. Therefore, your knee is slightly relaxed. Just imagine this. Look at our elbow. When you're standing here, our elbow's slightly bent. You're not standing like this. If you're like this, you're flexing your triceps. It's the same thing with your knee, okay? So there's a little bit of a bend for your knee. And what we're doing is, every time we hear a beat, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, boom. On the beat, we're flexing this muscle, bringing the knee back, okay? And we're not holding it. If you're holding it, boom, you're stuck. You can't do the very next one. You gotta flex and relax. Flex and relax. So it's bouncing back, boom, and it's returning back to its neutral position, okay? So that's what we're doing with our knee. This, Sammy?
I think in training this, I think Ceech makes a great point when he says, that you can get hurt with it, but I think it's because oftentimes when people see the leg pop from other dancers, because again, oftentimes we learn usually from watching other people, not from learning from other people, and they kind of do this. They over push their knee forward too, and they try to like wind it up. Just how we talked about in the tutorial with the arms, throwing arms. It's the same thing. You don't want it. You're not doing this. You're not throwing the foot back. You want to do it from as relaxed as possible, because that means, like she said, you could be moving and popping your legs, and it'll work. So I think that's one of the biggest things is not overdoing it. Really, key thing is, like you said, stay relaxed in that relaxed knee position.
Sammy just reminded me of a key point. I see some people go like this. They lift up their heel and it becomes a heel stomp.
Yeah.
And it's not that. Don't lift up your heel. You might find yourself doing that when you're starting off because you might not be used to it. But so again, think of that as one of the pitfalls. You don't want to do that. So going back to what we're talking about, staying relaxed, okay, keeping the heel down. And in our drill, we're gonna start off with just snapping our legs. You'll see Sammy and I facing the front, but if we're from the side view right here, you'll see this is what we're doing. We're snapping our legs back, and we're alternating, okay? So when you first start, you're just gonna stand still, and the way we had it is our legs are about shoulder width apart, okay? When you get better, you wanna be creative with your own drills. You could do it here, you could do it here, you could do it however you like, okay? This is just to get you started. We have it shoulder width apart, and we're going 2 times. We're going 1, 2, right leg, and then 1, 2, left leg. Or 1, 2, then 3, 4. Switching legs, okay? When we first start, we didn't have you shifting weight. Your weight is pretty much stationary, okay? To just get you off started. If you're comfortable with that, go to the next drill, which is where we start shifting your weight, okay? You want the weight on the leg that you're popping. And the next thing what we did, we started pivoting. We're pivoting our legs. So what we did is we stood on the ball of our feet, that's where the weight is, and we're pivoting, shifting. We're shifting both legs at the same time, right? We're going shift. So if you try this for the first time, you might find it difficult because now your balance is kind of compromised. If you never shifted before, your balance might be compromised. And one of the things you want to see is we're not doing this. We're not shifting like this. Okay? If you're shifting like, look at our weight. Our weight is kind of not moving. What we want to do is shift and move your weight at the same time. So that's a little bit more difficult for those that never tried it before, right?
Yeah.
So you're shifting and popping at the same time. So if you've never done this before, it'll probably take you some time. I know for me, when I first started learning, it probably took me a month or two to actually get comfortable with it. And not only that, after a month or two, I see that I was off beat. Off beat meaning I wasn't exactly on the beat. A lot of times I think I'm on, but when I look at the video, I'm like, oh my God, I'm too early. Okay? Anything to add to that, Sam?
I think oftentimes a big temptation for new poppers is to say, I will just work on arms and never work on the head, chest, and legs. I'll wait for those things later. I think that's one of the things I fell into, where I was like only using my arms for my power. And I was always asking myself, why is everyone hitting so much harder than I am when I went to events, or when I went to battles, or I trained at popping classes? And I was like, man, everyone's like, they hit so much more powerfully than I do. And when I started working with Ceech, he's like, well, you gotta start working on all the other parts of your body. And I didn't know about the neck and stuff, but I knew about the legs and chest. But when I tried them, I just felt so like, gosh, this is really hard. But be patient and forge forward in doing the leg drills and the chest drills and the neck drills, because that stuff is going to make you so much better as a popper. And like you said, it's kind of like a foundation. I like how he said that the arms are almost an accent to the legs, because the legs carry a lot of power because they sort of engage your whole body, where the arms only engage like from here down. So as much as I can be moving and popping, none of this is actually doing any of the power right now. So yeah. I think the legs is really important to have as a base for your power.
Yeah. I remember before I actually learned how to pop correctly from the electric boogaloos from Cedar Rapids, Palm and Peak, I was doing a lot of these boy band pop. If you guys know what I'm talking about, boy band, they do a lot of this, a lot of shoulder drop. You kind of pick your shoulder up a little bit and drop, okay? So there was no power whatsoever coming from my legs, okay? And then what I did was this. I thought I would just drop my knee.
I did.
Right?
I would say.
I think a lot of us who's never really properly learned it, you watch videos, you think, oh, this is what I do. Boom. And this is how I used to pop. Like when I first started.
Me too. Guilty.
It's dropping the knee down, boom, and dropping your shoulder. And I thought I was popping, right? And sure enough, when I was corrected, and I was like, oh my God, the real way was a lot harder than I think. When I was popping like this, it looks crazy. It doesn't look, when I looked at myself, it doesn't look good when I travel. There's a certain way of popping. And then when I saw the boogaloos, when they pop, boom, they're able to walk and pop. Before I was like doing this, it just didn't look like how they did it. I was like, man, how do they do it? So again, the key was when I realized that you snap your leg back, and it took a long time. I'm telling you, it took a long time. Just standing still, being able to pivot. And the last thing that we did in our video was pivoting from the heel. Okay, pivoting from the heel. And I learned that first time I drilled with the legendary Cedar Rabbit, when he showed me, first drill he did was pivoting this way. And I was like, oh my God, this is so hard.
He didn't play around.
No, but it was great because he showed me a drill that's really useful. And I think to this day, a lot of time when I do robot, this looks awesome to me. Like it's like why are some people's robot looking really good? Because they actually did pivot from the heel. So I'm very thankful that I learned that. So I want to share with you guys, take that, and again, be creative with how you drill. Take the drills that we have and create your own. And put a link down in the comments, and I'd like to see how you guys drill and share with everybody.